Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie and I am the artist and owner behind a small art business called NMC Design Studio. Now, if I had a nickel for every time a convention center that I was going to be tabling an artist alley at caught on fire, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't very much, but it's weird that it's happened twice, right? So, the first one we've kind of chatted about before on this channel was SakuraCon 2025. Wasn't technically the convention center that caught fire, but it was the Cheesecake Factory right below the Seattle Convention Center that had a fire in the kitchen. And it ended up closing Artist Alley for, if I remember correctly, around 4 to 6 hours. But you can find the vlog of SakuraCon on my channel, and that was the first time. It's also funny because it was the first real convention that I had vended at. I had done a single day of Geek Girl Con, which is a different convention in Seattle, in 2024 in November. But SakuraCon was the first convention that I was vending at for the entire time. So I kind of count it as my first convention vending experience for the most part. Now the second one is Animate Raleigh. Now that's in North Carolina, and that was supposed to be held on the second weekend in January for 2026. But in mid-December, the convention center's roof, I believe it was the HVAC system, caught on fire. And there wasn't too much fire damage to the convention center itself, but because fire and smoke, the sprinklers ended up going off, and so there was a lot of damage throughout the convention center. This meant that they had to do repairs, replace walls, drywall, flooring, etc. And at least what was communicated to me is the convention was hoping that the renovations would be done in time to still be able to hold the event on the second weekend of January. But unfortunately, they were not, which meant that the event ended up being delayed. So, I'm gonna talk a little bit through what the event staff did for SakuraCon and what the event staff did for Animate Raleigh, and kind of the differences in what I think about it and all that jazz. So they're two kind of different situations, right? Because SakuraCon, it happened on Saturday, so we had already set up and vended for Friday, and then it was Saturday morning that Cheesecake Factory fire happened, with all of the smoke coming into the building. So in that case, it wasn't something where they were, wasn't necessary, but they did have to evacuate everyone out of Artist Alley, and at one point they evacuated some of the floors in the convention center where just general attendees were as well. I think for SakuraCon for 2025, their communication could have been better, but I also have no idea what information they were getting from Seattle Fire, and additionally the convention center itself. So obviously just in a very hard situation where you're probably managing multiple lines of communication coming in. But as an artist who had no idea what was happening, I wish it would have been communicated better of maybe a timeline, because when they first evacuated the Artist Alley, I wasn't in Artist Alley yet that morning. I was walking to Artist Alley, saw all of the fire trucks outside, went, I don't know what that's about, walked inside, and then was like, oh, we're not allowed to go into Artist Alley. Okay, well, I'm concerned now. But I thought maybe it would be a 30-minute, hour-long thing of, oh, well, okay, I'll wait around to see when they let us back in. It was not a 30-minute or 1 hour thing. It was 4 hours, and I wish I knew this in advance, because then I would have probably left and went. I know a lot of people went to go visit the exhibitor hall, which was in a different building, or left and got coffee or food, or went and visited other things in downtown area, but I wasn't aware of that, and I was worried about missing when it was going to be open again. So I just kind of hung around. It was also because, if I remember correctly, I brought some restocks of products, so my bag was really heavy. I think I had like sticker books and 3D mouse pads in it. So my bag was really heavy and it was hurting my shoulder, so I didn't want to walk around if like I had to immediately come back. But if I was able to like go somewhere and sit down and like not have my bag on my shoulder for the entire time, that would have been great. So that's my one like gripe with the SakuraCon Fire, is the kind of lack of communication. But I also understand that event staff probably also didn't know the timeline at the beginning. They were probably also hoping that it would be a really fast thing and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of, if Seattle Fire didn't communicate a timeline for checking the building and everything that they needed to do because they were fighting an actual fire at that point, then there's not much that they can do on that, right? I did really appreciate that the event staff worked with the convention center to let Artist Alley go late that night. So we were supposed to close up, I believe, around 6, and they extended the hours until 9. So gave us 3 extra hours of selling. Still not like the greatest, because Saturday is supposed to be like the busiest day of the convention and supposed to have the most traffic and all that jazz. So having it extended later into the evening isn't going to be the same as having it open in like that prime time of like noon to 3 or 4. But it is better than nothing, and pretty much like all they could do. Technically speaking, they could have given artists a refund, which I also would have appreciated, but I also understand why they didn't, because it was out of their control. But just like interesting things to think of when you're at an event and there is an issue that comes up during the event, right? Now for Animate Raleigh, I have less information because I wasn't there and don't have any information about what was going on. Again, my understanding is the HVAC unit on the roof caught fire, and there wasn't that much fire damage to the building, but there was water damage from sprinklers being triggered, which resulted in the need for renovations within the convention center. I think I have a similar gripe with the Animate event staff just on communication. So I believe I saw a post on Instagram, because I was following the event on Instagram, that, hey, like, we're aware of the thing that happened at the convention center. And I was like, what thing that happened at the convention center? I don't live in North Carolina or Raleigh, so I don't get that type of local news. I don't believe I received any email about that incident. I believe I just saw it on Instagram. And then at the end of December, like I think the last week of December, so after Christmas, got an email through the event platform that they use, and it basically said, hey, so we're having to move the dates. We're gonna have to reschedule the event because the renovations aren't gonna be done in time, and here are 3 options that we are giving you to do with your booth fee. Option 1 was to move to that new event time, which is in March. If you decided to move your like booth fee to that new event date, you would obviously get a booth there, and you would also get 25% off any other event in their like family of events, which includes GalaxyCon and other Animate events, pending your acceptance. The second option was to move your booth fee to another event entirely. You would get 25% off any difference in cost for those events. So let's say you couldn't make the March dates, but you decided you wanted to do another event that was later in the year. You could apply this booth fee to that other booth fee, and then 25% off any difference within those fees, is my understanding of it. The third option is a good old-fashioned refund. And that's actually the one that I went for. I decided to get a refund for the event, kind of just like, you know, cut my losses and not gamble on that event at all. Animate Raleigh was supposed to be my first out-of-state convention. So it's kind of funny that like both of my firsts both caught fire. I don't know if that feels like a bad omen or something. The world doesn't want me to go to conventions, or like wants the conventions. Maybe it's just I'm too hot. Everything catches on fire. Who knows? But a very funny, not great coincidence of first 2 conventions, both in-state and out-of-state, caught on fire. If I ever decide to do out-of-country, let's hope it doesn't catch on fire. But I decided to just get a refund because figured let's just cut our losses here and not gamble on how well I do at this event, because I was kind of apprehensive. I don't know if that's the right word. Tentatively concerned about how well I would do at this event and if I would make back costs. Because I had seen a couple things from other artists about how well they did at Animate Raleigh, and it was kind of mixed. Some were saying it was really good, some were saying it was mid, so wasn't quite sure how I would do. I have similar feelings about my event in July. I'll be doing GalaxyCon New Orleans, and similar feelings to that one. I believe this is the second year of that event, maybe the third year. It's in its first few years of being an event being run, and just a little bit worried about the size of that event and how well I will do, but also just really excited to be able to travel to do this. I think it'll be fun regardless. I also haven't been to New Orleans before, so I'm excited for that. Because I was already taking a loss on the flight that I had purchased, not by too much, I think I ended up losing $70 or $90, something like that. I got most refunded as credits, which I'll just use towards the flights that I'm purchasing later for this year, but opted for the cheaper flight, and then that ended up biting me in the butt, so oh well. Am I going to not buy the cheapest flight in the future? Probably not, because it's the cheapest flight, so, and hopefully not many future convention centers are going to be catching on fire. The goal. Need to knock on wood. But I figured I would just take the loss from the canceled event of not too much and not gamble on potentially losing more money by ending up going to this event. It's also given me a kind of nice slower start to this year, which I have been enjoying. I've been enjoying not feeling as rushed. I have a lot of other things that I need to do, so I feel like taking a little pause from events right now is kind of good for me. I don't think I've talked about it on this channel or like any social media related to art, but I am developing some design curriculum for a local community college and have been working on that and focusing a lot of my time on that. Also working on getting some new prints and things ready. The goal is to do a shop update at the end of February, so also be on the lookout for that. I am excited. There will be some new zines, some new keychains, some new prints, hopefully, assuming I get them done in time. Been working on 2-point perspective, which I don't think I ever actually formally learned, but am kind of just figuring it out as I go. So that's been really fun as well. Oh, and some new stickers that I'm really excited about as well. Those designs came out really, really nice, and I am excited to show y'all. There was also a little bit of like some conspiracy theories around the Cheesecake Factory fire. I don't know if there are similar ones around the Raleigh Convention Center fire. I doubt it. But the conspiracy theories, which I believe, I'll preface this by saying Seattle Fire deemed it as an accidental fire, so they were not saying that it's intentional or anything like that, but conspiracy theories still abound. Because I think the Cheesecake Factory was supposed to close, I think like 2 weeks after the fire, there were some conspiracy theories around insurance fraud and intentionally setting the fire to get insurance money, etc., which obviously if Seattle Fire found that it was accidental, isn't related, but it's just like fun little things that I was hearing. Especially, it is wild that the Cheesecake Factory closing date was so close to the fire happening. But I think the next time you see me at an event, you should give me 2 nickels, because crazy coincidence that 2 of my like first conventions were either delayed or canceled or rescheduled, things like that, because of fires happening. Fires happening at the convention centers. A wild coincidence. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I try and post videos every Monday about my artwork, as well as what it's like at running a small art business and some of the wild, crazy things that happen. I'd also like to take this time to thank my Ko-fi subscribers. If you're interested in supporting me further, you can subscribe to me on Ko-fi, which is a $1 or $3 subscription for each month, and you will get various rewards like your name in this video, as well as monthly sketchbooks and monthly backgrounds for desktop and mobile that you can download and use on your devices. Thank you again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!